Hello everyone, this is 12th lecture from subject Income Tax 2. In today's class, we are going to solve one textbook illustration problem on long-term capital gain. This is 15 marks question on long-term capital gain, and the question is, Rahul submits the following information of his income for the previous year 2019-20. And the first information is, he is the owner of 2 residential houses. He sold one building on 30th 9 2019 costing rupees 10,96,000, acquired in year 2008-9 and paid brokerage charges amounting to rupees 10,000. The sale consideration being rupees 24,10,000. Second, he had shares of rupees 3 lakh of a limited company which were purchased for rupees 4,52,000 in May 2004. He sold them for rupees 12 lakh in October 2019 and also paid brokerage charges at rupees 1% on the face value of shares. Third, on 31st December 2019, he sold personal car for rupees 1,20,000 which was purchased in August 2001 at rupees 2,20,000. Fourth, he sold the listed debentures of a company on 1/4/2019 for rupees 3 lakh which were purchased by him for rupees 2,60,000 in February 1998. The cost inflation index for year 2008-9 is 137, 2004-5 is 113 and 2019-20 is 289. With this information, you are asked to compute the capital gains for the assessment year 2021. So the first capital asset given is residential house. Identify the nature of asset and also the holding period of the asset. Second asset given is shares. Identify the nature of asset and also the holding period. Then third is personal car, it is personal effect, so it is exempted. Fourth, listed debentures. Identify the holding period for the same. In the sum, all these 4 capital assets belong to long term because Mr. Rahul, the assessee, is holding these assets for more than cut-off period. So our problem is based on long-term capital gain. Take down solution. Computation of capital gain of Mr. Rahul for the assessment year 2021. Before you see the solution, first note down the sum. And the first capital asset given in the sum is residential house. Residential house. First of all, we have to take full value of consideration. Full value of consideration is nothing but sale proceeds of the capital asset. Full value of consideration this asset is sold by assessee for rupees 24,10,000. 24,10,000 is full value of consideration. From this, we have to deduct expenses on transfer. In this question, Mr. Rahul has paid brokerage charges of rupees 10,000. So brokerage is 10,000 rupees. Deduct this from the full value of consideration. The balance remaining is known as net consideration. 24,10,000 minus 10,000, we get net consideration of 24 lakhs. From net consideration, we have to deduct indexed cost of acquisition. Why indexed cost of acquisition? Because this capital asset is long-term capital asset, and for long-term capital asset we deduct indexed cost of acquisition, and for short-term capital asset we deduct only cost of acquisition. Indexed cost of acquisition and we know the formula, that is cost of acquisition into cost inflation index for the year of transfer divided by cost inflation index for the year of acquisition. Here the assessee has purchased this capital asset for rupees 10,96,000. So cost of acquisition into cost inflation index for the year of transfer, always it is 289, divided by cost inflation index for the year of purchase. Here Rahul has purchased this residential house in the year 2008-9, and cost inflation index you can see here for the year 2008-9 is 137. 10,96,000 into 289 upon 137, we get 23,12,000. Indexed cost of acquisition is 23,12,000, and now the balance remaining is rupees 88,000, which is nothing but our answer, that is long-term capital gain. I hope you have understood this first one. Now the second is shares. Take down full value of consideration of shares. Full value of consideration the full value of consideration is nothing but the value of sale. Here the shares are sold at rupees 12 lakh. So full value of consideration is 12 lakh. From this deduct expenses on transfer. Here Rahul has paid 1% brokerage charges on face value of share. Brokerage charges show it in bracket 1% on rupees 3 lakh. We get amount rupees 3,000. 12 lakh minus 3,000, we get balance of 11,97,000. This is known as net consideration. From net consideration, deduct indexed cost of acquisition less indexed cost of acquisition, and we know the formula how to calculate indexed cost of acquisition, that is cost of acquisition into cost inflation index for the year of transfer divided by cost inflation index for the year of acquisition. Now Mr. Rahul has purchased these shares for rupees 4,52,000. So cost of acquisition 4,52,000 into cost inflation index for the year of transfer is 289 divided by cost inflation index for the year of purchase is 113. He has purchased these shares in year 2004 and the cost inflation index for that year is 113. 1,42,000 into 289 upon 113, we get answer 11,56,000. 11,56,000. Now 11,97,000 minus 11,56,000. The balance is 41,000, which is known as long-term capital gain. Long-term capital gain at rupees 41,000. Now third capital asset is personal car. Personal car is a personal effect, therefore it is exempt from tax. It is exempt, which is not to be considered for calculation of long-term capital gain. So this amount is nil. Coming to last capital asset, fourth one is listed debentures. First we take full value of consideration. Mr. Rahul has sold these listed debentures for rupees 3 lakh. From this, deduct expenses on transfer if any, less expenses on transfer. He has not incurred any expenses on transfer, therefore it is nil. Remaining balance is known as net consideration. Three lakh minus 0, we get the answer 3 lakh. From this, deduct cost of acquisition. Pay attention. For debentures and bonds as well as depreciable assets, no indexation is applicable. I repeat, in case of debentures or bonds or any depreciable assets, indexation is not applicable. Even though the asset is long-term capital asset, we are not going to deduct indexed cost of acquisition from net consideration. We will always be deducting only cost of acquisition for three assets. One is debentures, bonds and depreciable assets. I hope you have understood this. So less only cost of acquisition. Other than these three assets, for all the long-term capital asset, we apply indexation and we deduct indexed cost of acquisition. But for debentures, bonds and any depreciable asset, indexation is not applicable. So cost of acquisition is 2,60,000. unless and until you have written down the question, you will not understand the solution. So if you have not written down the question, write it down and only then you see the solution. Now the balance is 40,000, which is long-term capital gain from debentures. Long-term capital gain. We are done with all the 4 assets. First asset is residential house. We have taken full value of consideration, deducted the brokerage charges. The balance remaining is net consideration. Also deducted the indexed cost of acquisition, taking into consideration the cost of acquisition and cost inflation index for the year of purchase as well as sale. And then we arrive to the answer 88,000, which is long term capital gain. Next is shares. For shares, we have taken full value of consideration and brokerage charges are deducted at 1% on face value of shares, not on the cost of acquisition or not on the cost of sale, but on face value of the share, which is 3 lakh rupees. Then we get net consideration. Then we deduct index cost of acquisition, considering cost of acquisition and cost inflation index for the year of transfer as well as year of purchase. And we get the answer for shares at 41,000 as long term capital gain. Third capital asset is personal car. As it is personal in nature, it is exempt while calculating capital gain. The last information is listed debentures. One important thing need to remember about listed debenture is that no indexation is available or no indexation is done for debentures, bonds and any depreciable assets. Here we have taken full value of consideration. You are not given any expenses on transfer for listed debentures, so the net consideration is same as full value of consideration. And then instead of index cost of acquisition, we deduct only cost of acquisition for these debentures, which is 2,60,000, and the balance remaining is 40,000. Now our final answer is total capital gain. Total capital gain, when we all add all the above gains, we get total capital gain, which is 1,69,000. I hope you have understood this sum. This is already there in the textbook, but in the textbook it is Mr. Gurunath. The name of assessee is Mr. Gurunath. This is 16th sum in the textbook. I have made only one change in the question, that is the previous year has been changed. In the textbook it is year 2018-19, but our current previous year is 2019 and 20. In next class we are going to solve sums on exemptions on capital gain.